Thanks for joining us. A primetime Israeli news program has been shut down by the country's parliament with an hour's notice, certainly sparking some strong emotions from the staff at that channel.
יכול להיות שזה גם במהדורה האחרונה הזו, מבחינה הזו הסיום של התוכנית לא רלוונטי. אני כן רוצה להודות לכל האנשים שעבדו פה במשך השנים.
מאוד קשה לכולנו. אמרתי שאני לא אבכה, אני לא מצליחה.
A glance at the news had been the nation's longest-running program on air for news since 1968. Local journalists have dubbed its closure, quote, a disgrace. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly insists he had nothing to do with the shutting down of the program, calling the manner in which the broadcast authority was closed disrespectful and dishonorable. However, many of his critics accuse him of trying to increase control over the news outlets. Just some days ago, echoing remarks by Donald Trump, Netanyahu accused Western mainstream outlets of creating, quote, fake news.
Ever wonder what fake news is?
I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
Headlines in CNN, Al Jazeera, and The Guardian.
Very fake news.
This is a complete distortion of the truth.
The level of dishonesty is out of control.
Well, the parallels in Netanyahu and Trump's approach come ahead of the U.S. president's visit to Israel later this month. And we spoke to Amir Oren, a journalist with Israel's Haaretz newspaper. He thinks this move sends a clear message to other media outlets in the country.
Netanyahu would probably like to be the editor-in-chief and the executive producer of all of Israel's media. But he wants to do it piece by piece. Netanyahu wants to deter other channels. He wants to show them by example that what he has done to this channel, which was the least critical, that whatever he is deciding will be implemented. There is legislation against various forms of freedom of expression, and down the road, if this doesn't stop, yes, there will be reason to be afraid of the Netanyahu spirit.
The contents of a language textbook are prompting a reaction in Belgium after a migrant student and his teacher came across a passage considered by many as offensive. The book, which is aimed at helping immigrants learn French and adapt to a new culture, appeared to link refugees to crime. The local teacher who's hosting an Iraqi refugee posted a picture of the text on her Facebook page. The sentence causing the controversy said, quote, he threw a bomb and goes to prison. Now, the book was published 3 years ago as part of an EU educational program. Its local director in Belgium said he was surprised when he saw the content and admitted it was a mistake. Well, earlier we heard from political commentator Graham Moore as well as Mohammed Shafiq of the Ramadan Foundation.
Migrants, refugees who come to Europe need to learn the language in their respective countries. That's very, very important. But that should be done in an inclusive way. It should address the issue of terrorism, absolutely right to do that. And it should address wider issues around integration. I think is very important as well. But, you know, I think this sort of language doesn't promote inclusion. Yes, there are elements of people within the Muslim community who are involved in terrorism that we've got to confront. There are many people on the far right who are involved in terrorism and extremism. We know of a secret plot by far-right extremists in the French and German armies who were involved in targeting refugees.
Well, I'm suggesting to people that they should go away and read about the Sunnah of Muhammad, read the Hadiths, and forget the Quran.
You're a xenophobe who gets off on targeting Islam and Muslims. You don't target any other faith, do you? Do you target Judaism? Do you target Hinduism? And do you target Sikhism or Christianity? No, you seem to have this focus just on one faith.
No issue.
And that is an example of a racist xenophobe. That's who you are. You're a racist xenophobe who wants to promote hatred and division. And I'm actually the person who wants to promote inclusion, tackle the issue of terrorism, love each other, work together in partnership. That's what the vast majority of people in Europe want. They reject your fascism and they reject your racism.
We know that European Union politicians have stressed many times, haven't they, that Europeans should not consider refugees terrorists and we should make them welcome, help to integrate, and that would be better in the long run. But isn't this textbook doing the exact opposite, Graham?
The problem that we've got, and again, ISIS have already stated that they are going to move terrorists, or should I say orthodox Mohammedists, into Europe. And they've done that, and they're successful. That's the problem. I don't think that this phrasing in a book is the issue. Like I said, for me, I would have simply written in French, do not follow the Sunnah of Muhammad. That's it. It covers everything.
The victims of ISIS, on the whole, 90% are Muslims in Syria and Iraq. The people who came from Syria and Iraq are fleeing that very same organisation. And the idea that somebody who says Islam isn't a race then goes on to want to attack Islam collectively as a body or as a faith system tells you that they've got a problem and they're a xenophobe. And that's the problem what we've got to face.